Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We're just going to allow a couple more seconds for everyone to join in to this. Okay, I see a few more people joining us. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Elaine Bonneau with Downtown Inc., and I want to welcome everyone to the March Business Series workshop presented by PNC. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't know what I was thinking when I picked this outfit this morning. I don't have any green on, but there's green in the background somewhere, one side. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today's business series is a topic that has been in development for a little while now. We're going to be talking about building your tribe and really leveraging trusted advisors to grow your business at any stage. So before we jump into the topic and the reason for this theme this month, I wanted to ask Greg Verbosky with PNC to just say a few words of welcome. Thank you and good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Elaine. Thank you so much for letting me introduce. Thank you for letting me introduce myself. Thank you for letting me introduce PNC as the presenting sponsor. Obviously, very proud to be the presenting sponsor of such a great business series. I will be part of the whole procedure today, the whole process. So I don't want to get too deep into it right now, but PNC is definitely a proud sponsor of what you and your team has put together. So I'll pass it back to you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you again, and thank PNC for just this ongoing relationship that we're proud to continue in 2021. So just a couple housekeeping things before we get into our conversation this morning. We will have a really robust presentation. I'll introduce our speakers in a moment. We're going to save time at the end, about 15 minutes for Q&A. So if something piques your interest, you want to know more about it, you have a comment on something that you're hearing, I'd ask that you either put it in the chat or in the Q&A, and we'll gather those over the course of our conversation. And at the end, I will facilitate Q&A with our panelists, and we're going to provide you with contact information for them as well in case you'd like to do any follow-ups. After today's presentation, later on the Downtown Inc. website, which is downtownyorkpa.com, you'll be able to view this again or share it with anyone who you think could benefit from the information. So just a few things there. Also, really important announcement that I wanted to share with you about the Yoko COVID-19 Hospitality Industry Recovery Program, also known as CHIRP. The program opened yesterday on the 15th, and it is a recovery fund awarding grants to eligible businesses in the hospitality industry, ranging from $5,000 to $50,000. And they are grants, not loans, to alleviate revenue losses and pay eligible operating expenses that your business incurred due to COVID-19 from the period of March 1st of 2020 to the date of application submission. So eligible businesses are based on federal NAICS codes, NAICS, sorry, I rushed through that and stumbled. They are for codes 721 and 722. If you don't know what your NAICS code is, you can find out your category by going to the website, and there's FAQs there. You can go to preparedyork.com/chirp, CHIRP, and you can view the guidelines there. You can sign up for webinars, we have office hours if you need any assistance gathering materials to apply, and a full list of what the funds can be used for are available there again. So that website, preparedyork.com//chirp, and the application window is through March 31st, Wednesday, March 31st at 5 p.m. It's not first come, first serve, so it gives you a little bit of time, but I certainly wouldn't hesitate or wait. Sign up for one of our webinars so we can help you get prepared and get your application in and position you best for success. So I'll stop there. This topic today, build your tribe, whether you want to call it your tribe, your brain trust, your circle of influence, those individuals who help you in your business decisions, whether you are just starting a business or you are growing your business to the point where you're thinking about adding employees and looking at human resource issues, those kinds of things. It really is important to have a circle of experts and individuals who can help you grow your business at every stage. And, often I get asked questions from our local business owners, who should I talk to about this? How can I get assistance with site selection? And that's what I'm here for, to help point you in the right direction. But what we found, and in talking with our panelists today, is that time and time again, we find that some of our businesses are going it alone, right, in building their business. And they have not created that tribe of people around them that they can go to when they need them to help them with expert advice. So that's what we're here to do today. And I have some folks who really, I hope that at the end of this, if you don't know them already, that you will bring them into your brain trust, your circle of influence, and help you, really grow your business successfully. So I'm going to start just by introducing our speakers. First, we have Sharee McFadden. Sheree is the Economic Development Specialist for the City of York. Sheree is a Philadelphia native who rooted herself here in the York community for the last 20 years. As the Economic Development and Redevelopment Authority Specialist for the City of York, Sheree serves as a liaison to the small businesses and developers looking to partner with the city on various level development projects. She is also the Capital Access Manager for the city's microloan program, Kiva. I'm excited for her to share more about that. Kiva connects traditionally unbanked and underbanked entrepreneurs and small businesses with capital through online international crowd lending platforms. Sheree also serves in various capacities on multiple boards, committees, and initiatives, including YCCVB, Keystone Kid Space, the Home Again Initiative, NAACP, and the newly formed Community Advisory Board. She is currently working on connecting minority businesses with resources and tools for foundational and long-term success. And her personal and professional goal is to create and increase avenues for economic equity and equality within disadvantaged and underserved communities. So thank you, Sheree, for joining us. Also, we'll hear from John Tile. John is the chapter chair and president of Susquehanna SCORE. SCORE is a small business mentoring organization. John is a retired executive with 42 years experience in the defense industry, holding various leadership positions in engineering, logistics, and program management. John also serves our community in SCORE and previously in Leadership York, Junior Achievement, and as Loganville Borough Council President. John now leads his own consulting company, Light Advisors LLC, and is an adjunct business professor at Elizabethtown College. Previously, John worked for BAE Systems from 1987 until his retirement in 2019. His last position with BAE Systems York Site Executive and Director of Programs for BAE Systems Platforms and Services Operating Group in York, PA. He has also led corporate-wide efforts that included consolidating disparate organizations, subsidiary analysis, merger and process improvement. I can go on and go on. Again, people who can help you build your business with a large and wide depth of expertise. So we thank John for joining us. And rounding out our panel, you met Greg Verbosky. Greg is the Vice President, Branch and Business Center Manager for PNC. Greg has been with PNC for 8 years and has served in many different roles within PNC. Currently, he's the branch manager of the West Manchester Bank, and he is the husband of a small business owner himself and the father of 3 little ones. So there may be a lot going on in Greg's house this morning, unless he's in the office. We'll see. So thank you all for joining us this morning. And I'm really excited to share with everyone really how to build their tribe, starting with our 3 esteemed guests. So thank you and good morning. And I'll turn it over to Sheree.
Good morning, everyone. I'll get my little Red Riding Hood top all prepared. I am so excited to be here this morning. I am going to try to get you guys just a better view in just a second of me, because there we go. I get a little jealous when people have virtual backgrounds. So I finally have figured out how to do it. And now you guys can see what I'm here to talk to you about. So good morning, good morning, good morning. And thank you to Downtown Inc. and YCEA for putting on this amazing program for all of our business owners and for our community. Thanks for having me and giving me this platform to share about some of the great things we're doing down at the City of York. So as you guys heard from Elaine, my name is Sharee McFadden. I am the Economic Development and Redevelopment Authority Specialist with the City of York. That's a really fancy way of saying that I help our small businesses and I help with development projects here in the city. So you guys may have seen, some vacant houses and blighted houses. I'm the person who helps to identify those houses, reposition them for development, get them back on the tax rolls, help to create home ownership, and help to create jobs. That's our goal with the Redevelopment Authority. And it really gives us a chance to see transformation and guide some transformation in some of our neighborhoods. And then on the economic development side, as Elaine said, I help our small businesses. And part of what I do with our small businesses is help connect them to capital through our program called Kiva. So Kiva is a program that we started about a year ago, just about a month shy of COVID. So we had a great launch. We had one of our first borrowers go through, and then COVID hit. So we weren't able to really fully dive in the way we wanted to, but now we are able to kind of pick things back up, get the ball rolling again. And it's been really exciting to see how people are responding to the program, and also how we can further help our businesses be successful. So again, I'm very grateful to be here because as the name of the webinar states, it's so important to build a toolkit, have those resources at your fingertips, but know what resources are available, right? So sometimes, we have no idea what's out there and you don't know what you don't know. So I'm really pleased to join the other panelists this morning. Our sponsors for Kiva are actually PNC and the York County Community Foundation. They're the ones who helped us bring this to York. And they saw a need in our community for a financial resource and something to kind of bridge the gap with access to capital. Our mayor was very receptive. One of his goals and passions is to see our businesses succeed, especially our minority businesses. Kiva is about bringing capital and banking opportunities to underserved, underbanked, and underrepresented business owners such as women, minorities, immigrants, and veterans. So understanding that we have a large population of each of those groups, even just within the city, but also the county, and realizing that there was a great need for not only just the financial access, but also financial literacy when it comes to managing your business. So I'm learning a lot, and I'm learning a lot alongside of our borrowers who may have been a sole proprietor and built up to being an LLC, and now they're working on just establishing their business a little further. So why Kiva, right? Well, Kiva meets that unmet need of getting access to capital. Kiva, and I'll try to go, I can get very into it because it's exciting, but I'll try to keep it really brief for you guys. So Kiva is a micro loan crowd lending program. So it's not fundraising, it's not a grant, it is a loan. Now, what makes Kiva special is that unlike traditional loans and commercial loans, which banks usually have access to, which lenders and which borrowers usually have access to, Kiva is 0 interest and 0 fees. So you literally are paying back the amount that you borrowed, which is a big deal because sometimes the fees that you incur and the depending on your rates, you're not only paying back that loan, but you're paying to pay back that loan, if that makes sense. So with Kiva, you literally only pay back the amount that you borrow. So we'll just do a quick brief example and I'll run you through the process of Kiva so you get an idea of how it works. And then I'll let you know why Kiva, again, is so important to York and how if you're a small business owner, this is something, whether you're established or not, this is something that really could still benefit you, depending on what position you're in. So I'll take you kind of through a brief, just little role playing. So my name is Sharon, and I am the owner of a pet store, and I help pets who serve veterans with PTSD. I'm giving somebody a business idea here. So if you take it, just tag me. But I have a pet store and I help to train and take care of pets that take care of people. There's your tagline. So I have a new business and my business has been in for about 2 years. And I realized that I want to get a part-time dog trainer, maybe 1 or 2 days a week. And right now where I'm at in my business, I can't really afford that with what I currently am bringing in. So I went to I went down to City Hall. I asked what services and resources they could have available for small business owners looking to expand, looking to grow, or even just getting access to capital. They told me about the Kiva loan program. I was really, really skeptical to take out a loan because I don't want to pay back a lot of fees. I don't want to have a loan for 5 and 10 years. I want something that I can get access to cash, I can use it, and then I can expand my business. So they told me about Kiva. I was able to get a $5,000 loan specifically so that I could hire a dog trainer. I got access to that loan. Their capital access manager walked me through creating the perfect application to put on the Kiva profile. Now, since the Kiva platform is an online international platform, I had access to over 1.7 million people on this platform that could see my business, that could lend to my business, and that I could learn about their businesses as well. So once on Kiva, you have about a 15-day period, right, to get private fundraising done. And it says fundraising, but literally you're raising the funds. So depending on your criteria for Kiva, which you have to be 18 years or older, you have to be a US citizen, and you can't be in any active foreclosures or bankruptcies. Those are Kiva's 3 criteria. And since I met the criteria, I provided my business proof, which was my LLC paperwork, and also my business permit for my physical location. And once I got my application approved, they said, hey, you need 10 people to loan you as little as $25 on your Kiva platform. Those 10 people could come from my personal network. They could come from my overall general community. The city helped to promote my business and my Kiva loans. So I got lent money from people all within the community. Once I met that 10 people minimum, my profile on Kiva was then expanded and opened to the 1.7 million viewers on Kiva, which means someone in Africa, India, London could loan to my business. Now, when I get my loan fully funded, I raised my loan of $5,000 in just 30 days. I had loans from people who I had no idea who they were, but they loved animals, so they lent to my business. I had loans from veterans that also were on the Kiva platform who supported my business ideas and loaned to my business. So I reached my $5,000. Then Kiva paid out my loan via PayPal. And within 5 to 7 days of raising my full $5,000, I had that money in my account. I was able to begin promoting and looking for a dog trainer. Within a month, I found the perfect dog trainer. And I also was able to start paying back my $5,000 Kiva loan with small monthly payments over a loan term of just 2 years. So I knew in 2 years, I wouldn't have this loan anymore. But since I've made all my payments on time, I'm now able to apply again for a larger loan through Kiva. So, and that's my story of sharing. Insane. So hopefully that gave you kind of an idea of what the Kiva experience is like for a borrower in a real quick, succinct way. Our borrowers, like I said, come from a lot of different groups. And right now I'm working with minority borrowers, I'm working with women borrowers, and I have even a veteran actually who is looking to start a business. So Kiva is great for no matter really what phase of business you're in, but it focuses on those groups that have been traditionally underserved, traditionally unrepresented, and underbanked. So we all kind of know the red tape sometimes that surrounds getting access to capital for specific groups. So we try to remove those barriers for our borrowers. And my job as capital access manager is to just make sure that if you are going through hoops, that they're big enough to help you get through, okay? And as Elaine said, we want to help to start restore economic equity and equality among some of our businesses and amongst your community, because when one of us wins, we all win. When Black and brown businesses thrive, the entire community and business community thrives. So we want to create space for those businesses to have a level playing field. And Kiva is one of the ways that the city is doing that. So if this has kind of sparked your interest, or if you are looking to just learn more about the program to see if it could help someone that you know, or you might know a business owner like, hey, this is great for you guys. You should take care of this, or you should look into this. It is great to have in your toolkit, not just for yourself, but for others. And we also have a lot of other small business resources. We're working with coordinating with organizations such as SCORE and Downtown Inc. so that we can collaborate and see how can we best comprehensively serve our businesses. So if you are looking to get to Kiva in your toolkit, please let me know, because it is a great asset, a great resource, and you will learn a lot along the way about yourself as a business, and about the community as a whole. And you probably have a lot more support than you think you do. So thank you guys, and I'll turn it back over to you, Elaine.
Yes, thank you, Sheree. That is fantastic. I mean, it's really such a great benefit for us to have Kiva now in York City. So we thank you for steering that process. And, you know, as you said to me prior to this conversation, that you really want to be there for businesses when they start and all the way through growing their business. That they shouldn't just come to you that one time when they're opening their business in York City, but you're there to be a partner with them. So if they want to sit down with you or have a conversation, like you said, and kind of dive a little bit more into their business and understanding their business and the opportunities better, can businesses do that, whether they're just or they've been in business for a while? How do they make an appointment with you, and what does that process look like?
That they absolutely can. We love helping businesses at the City of York. And one of the things we're trying to do and work diligently on is changing the narrative that it's hard to open a business in the city. The city doesn't want you to open a business. We want you to open a business because it's how our community thrives. We want your business here. We want businesses that are inclusive, that are welcoming, that represent our community, that fit the needs and fill problems and gaps in our community. We absolutely want that. If you would like to sit down with me or even members of our team, we try to work together as much as possible between our departments to say what resources are over here, what do they absolutely have to do no matter what over here as far as like permits, planning, zoning. It can be kind of an intimidating process sometimes, especially if you're starting from scratch, starting over, or you realize you have to kind of go back and backtrack a little bit. So if you want to kind of just do a check-in with your business, if you want to see to make sure everything is where it needs to be, if you have to renew licenses, if you need business ideas, please email me at smcfadden, that's S as in Sam, McFadden, my last name, at yorkcity.org. If you find me on Facebook, you can Facebook me there, but I'll probably give you my email address to email me. And I would love to sit down and talk with you. I would love to help you with ideas. And maybe you just want to learn, how can my business better serve the community? How can I be a better resource? How can I reach more people? And we are always open to those discussions, as well as seeing what other organizations, if we can't fill the need, what other organizations we partner with, such as a YCA or a SCORE, that could help fill your needs. But we always want to act as a conduit to success and help people to reach their goals as well as business owners. So
thank you so much, Sheree. And your contact information is now in the chat. So if anyone didn't get Sheree's email, you can jot it down there. And as Sheree said, from starting your business to permits to funding, the city has been a great resource and a great partner to us at Downtown Inc. And we certainly want to make sure that that partnership is available to all of our businesses. So now I'm going to turn it over to John Tile with Susquehanna SCORE. Speaking of building your tribe, man, John, have I been so happy that I met you and we've been working together since I started with Downtown Inc. So help us keep building that brain trust. I'll turn it over to you.
Great, thanks. And Casey, if you could put up the slide. First off, I love the title of this. I want to thank Downtown Inc. and YCEA for putting this on. And the title, leveraging your trusted advisor to grow your business. I think that's an excellent title for this session. SCORE hopefully is one of those advisors that you can turn to. I like Sheree's, she says your toolkit, right? We have a bunch of templates that we can give you as part of your toolkit. We have like 65 mentors. And just so you know the impact that we can help you with, over the last 3 years, we've helped create 454 new businesses. And we've also helped over the last 3 years in our community, helped start, provide 523 non-owner jobs. That's jobs in addition to the owner of the company. So we've had a big impact. Another thing that Sheree said that I thought was very, she can help you through the whole process. And SCORE can do that with our partners. We have great partners in YCEA, the Small Business Administration, Small Business Development Centers, some I think are on. We partner. So if we can't help you, we can send you somewhere else to help you. And I think that's important, but we cover the 3 phases of business. It's, planning and startup. It's sustainment when you're in business and you want to grow, or in a lot of cases, you will need some marketing help. We have 65 mentors that have a variety of experience, anywhere from 10 to 20 to 50 years experience in various industries. So we hope that we can be one of those advisors that you have. We also partner with banks like PNC. A lot of times, if you have a startup and you need some money, you'll go to a bank. A lot of times, if you don't go to a bank with a business plan, they'll say, hey, you should go over to SCORE. And we help that. That's one of the things we do when we have a startup business. In fact, I met with a gentleman from New York City on, I think it was Tuesday. He was starting up his own photography business, and we talked about that. And that's what kind of the thing he wanted to do. And we went through the business plan. So those are some things that we can do and help. As you can see on the screen, the services we provide and all that I've discussed was a really one-on-one counseling and mentoring. We all know how small businesses have been affected in the past year. If anything, we all should realize that small business is the heartbeat of America. When small business suffer, our economy suffer, and we saw that. Hopefully now we can get back, and we've helped business go through that. In fact, I've had clients that we had to make the hard decision to get out of business, which is the first and only one that I hope I ever have to do. Most of the time, it's a lot of people are now starting new businesses and want to look into new businesses, or have had those COVID issues that we help them with sanitation and some of those processes, or we help them pivot. The last phase that we are involved in is business exiting. Like I mentioned, I had one that we helped exit the business. What we were trying to do is help her to get as much money as she could as she exited her business. So we cover all 3 phases, and we cover that with YCEA, with SBA, SBDC, Downtown Inc., and with Sheree in New York City. So that's where that one-on-one counseling and mentoring can cover all gamuts. We do have some workshops. A lot of times what we now do is partner. YCA has a business startup workshop. Others have startup, SBDC may have some startup workshops. We have all this expertise, so we provide that in workshop form. We also have business roundtables. So, look on our website and our calendar. We're putting that up where we have roundtables, and we have 3 a month. And that's for people that are in business that have some issues that they want to share. that share with other businesses. They may have the same issues you have, and it's facilitated by a mentor. Another thing that's really exciting is to be eligible for the York Chamber Foundation grant, which is a yearly grant that offers for a first place and a second place, $2,500 for first place, a grant, $1,000 for second place. You have to be a SCORE client. So that's another benefit of being a SCORE client. Of you then get, in the last one I have on the left side is you'll get our informational emails. YCA sends out emails. We forward those emails to all of our clients to keep you up to speed on the latest small business news, the funding things with PPP and EIDL and all the latest economic aid funding. But also with back to the Chamber Foundation grant, usually in the October, November timeframe, if you're a client, you'll get an email from us saying, hey, you can be eligible for the York Chamber Foundation. It's a very simple process. You fill out a SurveyMonkey form, what you're going to use the money for, those kind of things. And we have a panelist of judges that are not SCORE members that they, are experts from different areas. We have bankers and we have attorneys and those kind of people, educators on the panel, and they pick the winners. So to be eligible for that on a yearly basis, I suggest you come into SCORE, let us help you, and then you can apply for those. To apply, and then I appreciate Elaine's question to Sheree about how do you get to Sheree, right? Well, how do you get to SCORE? Well, we have some of you may remember Tammy Dawson. She had some life events that she needed to get a job with benefits. So she took a job with, I think it's the WellSpan. So we've brought in a new person. Her name is Kim Kennedy. She's just been here for a month or a couple of weeks, actually. She's getting up to speed, but you can reach out to us and email susquehanna.score.org and say, you need help. Or, I'm sorry, that Susquehanna@scorevolunteer.org is the email. But the best way of getting to us is through the website, susquehanna.score.org. On that website, you'll have Find a Mentor. You click Find a Mentor, it'll take you to a form to fill out. The thing that I ask all of you to do so that we can give you the best client experience is explain the type of business that you're in or you want to be in. Be as specific as you can as far as the help you need so we can match you with the proper mentor. All right. Give you an example. We had a client that asked, didn't tell us anything about his business. He had a drone business and needed technology help. We paired him with a 91-year-old financial advisor. That didn't work out so well. So we ask you to be as specific as you can so we can really match you properly with the mentor. And then, hey, every time you have issues, you want to come back, it's always free. It's always free. So I appreciate, the opportunity to tell you about SCORE. I hope that you will allow us to be one of your trusted advisors in building your toolkit to help you either plan and start a business, sustain and grow your business, or if you have to exit and pass on your business to the next generation. We're here to help. Thank you.
Sorry, y'all, I couldn't unmute myself. Thank you so much, John. Hopefully you all can hear me. I have a little bit of lag in my computer. Okay, I got the thumbs up. Yes, thank you so much, John. And I am getting questions. So I want to come back to a couple things that you said about working with SCORE and getting signed up and accessing those resources. So we'll come back to that during Q&A. But Greg, why don't you round us out and talk a little bit more about local resources and people here right in York City that can help our businesses. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, Lane. Thanks for the opportunity, and thank you to YCEA for having me. This morning when I was thinking about, what was the most important thing that I could present here on behalf of PNC, I could tell you about our 3 locations, I could tell you about all of our people, and I could tell you about all that. But I think what's most important that you get from your bank, whether it's PNC or not, right, is you get that trusted advisor. You get that person that isn't always selling you something, but is the person that you can rely on to point you in the right direction when you need it, right? Oftentimes, from the beginning of of your business, right? The day you organize it till the end. And this has been a theme for all three of the speakers this morning. You're going to need help, right? You don't just need help that first day, right? You don't need help when you're transitioning from the newborn stage into the growth stage, right? You don't just need help from the growth stage to the, okay, now I'm sort of done with all of this, what do I do now stage? You need help the whole time, right? And I can tell you that a PNC banker's job, right? The thing that we do best is make your life easier, right? That's what we're told to do. And that's what we take pride in. So you can go to any bank and any bank's going to offer you the same thing, right? We all know all of the things that PNC offers, right? Checking accounts, savings accounts, all of that. I could take the rest of the program to detail all of the things that banks offer, but you all know that already. And so what's the difference maker for PNC? And the difference maker for PNC is our people caring about you as a business owner, right? That is how you create trust, hopefully, right? That's what this program's about is how do you build a trust toolkit? And the best way to do that is call your banker and say, hey, I just want to come in and talk to you. I don't need anything right now. I just need some advice, right? I'm really good at doing what I do, but that doesn't mean I'm really good at managing my finances. And you have no idea how many times I've sat with a business owner that tells me all about their business, how passionate they are. I get excited. I get hyped up. And then they say, but Greg, I have no idea how to make sure my bank account stays positive on a day-to-day basis. And that's when I get excited too. And I say, you know what, that's perfect. That's what I do for you, right? And I have the access, right, to everything that you need from a banking standpoint from PNC. We have access to the SBA. We have access to our friends at YCEA. We have access to a bunch of other COIs that you have that people don't often think banks have access to because those people are banking with us as well, right? And so I think the most important way for PNC to offer that level of trust is to just say, hey, come in and sit with me, let's talk, right? It doesn't even have to be about finances. It doesn't have to be about checking accounts. It could be whatever's on your mind. But PNC's job, PNC's goal is to make life easier. It's to make life more convenient. And just overall, make the part of the job that isn't the most fun part the easiest part, because we have control over that. And so, Elaine, I know we have some questions and answers. I don't want to take a whole bunch of time preaching the same word, and I don't need to go through all of the details of what banks do because everybody knows that already. So I'm going to pass it back to you, and I think it's a good time to start the Q&A.
Oh, I think so too. You know what, Greg, we're right on time. So
Perfect.
that's perfect. But I just want to follow up with you, and I'm going to be
Please.
transparent right now.
Yeah.
This is not even a question from anyone else. It's a personal experience that I have had in the past when I owned my own business. And I'm thinking I was banking with the wrong people, because what you just said to me is exactly what I wanted to hear years ago.
Yeah.
When I was trying to build my business. And, you know, an important message is don't wait until you're hanging on by your fingernails to start having the conversations. As you said, have the conversations when nothing's wrong, when you're really just trying to explore, hey, do I go this way? What makes the most sense for my business? But where does the intimidation come from? You know, I remember thinking, I'm not going to go to XYZ Bank because my business is so small. I don't have enough zeros behind my numbers on, you know, my profit statement. Where does that intimidation come from? And how do you break down those barriers in the work that you do with your clients?
Elaine, it's a great question, right? And I think the intimidation comes from the thought process, the assumption that banks don't want to deal with me unless I'm in the top 1%, right? And I can tell you, I personally in my branch don't deal with the top 1%. I deal with the person that comes in with $15 and says, I have a dream and I want to make my business work. And I say, let's start with $15 and we'll work together, right? And to your point, I think the intimidation comes from people think banks, you have to have your whole story together and you have to have a big business plan that's 1 million pages long. that proves that you're worthy of whatever, right? Whatever you're looking for. And fundamentally, I want to talk to you before you even file your business paperwork, right? I want to talk to you before you even have a business structured, so that I can make sure that you have all of the resources that you need. I can tell you where to go. I can tell you who to talk to make sure that you're setting your business up the proper way, right? Is the right way for you to set it up as sole proprietor? Is it the right way to set it up as an LLC? And I'm not a lawyer, so I don't get paid to be a lawyer, so I'm not going to tell you how to set it up, but I'm going to say, okay, what are you looking for, right? And so being, again, Elaine, just offering that ease, right, I think is how you break down that intimidation factor. And again, I will reiterate, PNC doesn't need you to be $1 million business walking in the door and write us a huge check. We just want the opportunity to be a resource for you, and we'll go from there.
That's really great to hear. And I appreciate the transparency and the honesty, because there, I think, are a lot of people who need to hear that.
Yeah.
And know that they are welcome to walk through the doors in PNC, and they're going to be greeted in that way. So yes, that's what we're talking about, building that tribe of trusted advisors. But it's worth maybe diving into a little bit more. Okay, so this business is in need of advice on a business valuation. Does SCORE have a database or referral program for local professionals? So if they're looking for like a CPA or something, can they work with their mentor to help them to get to other experts?
Yes, what we do. We cannot recommend anyone, but we have lists of attorneys, banks, CPAs, business evaluators. So we have that list. We can give you the list to look through yourself. We find that being able to give that list to people, every business is different, every personality is different. So we like you to kind of look at that business and kind of make your own decision rather than recommend. But we do have a list of resources. Absolutely.
Okay, great. And another question for you, John.
Sure.
I've been through the program before. I guess they've signed up for a mentor, maybe went through the program. Can they sign up again if they're at a different place with their business or have a different business?
Absolutely. And we only charge you double what we charged you last time, and 2 times 0 is 0.
I think we need to reiterate that. What's that commercial? The now free.
Oh yeah, free.
In case you missed it.
Yes.
I mean,
we get a lot.
Reiterate enough how valuable this is to have.
It really does. And by the way, it does take us like $60,000 a year to do what we do for free, and we rely on donors. Like we have, banks, attorneys, the mentors. Last year, 10% of our budget was covered by the mentors that offer their time for free. That's how passionate we are about what we do. Mm-hmm. I mean, we invest our time and our money in it. So
yes.
We're free.
Yes. And the level of commitment that you'll get there is just awesome, because that's one thing about people who love to help build businesses. Like, we get really fired up. Like, once you tell us we're like, yes, we're going to help you succeed and help you do this. Sheree, a question for you. Is there any limit, a minimum or a maximum for a Kiva loan amount? And how does the Kiva gift card program work, as a separate question?
So yes, there are minimums and maximums. And when we follow up with attendees and things as well, I'll make sure that we get just like our one-sheeter sent out to you guys that kind of just runs down the process as well. So our minimum loan amount is $1,000 and the maximum is $10,000. And your terms are typically only from 1 year to 3 years. So like I said, like Sharon said, the pet store owner, she knows that her loan won't take 5 and 10 years, that this is something kind of in a relatively short time frame you can get your loan and get it paid back. So minimum $1,000, maximum $10,000. And it does depend on kind of the age of your business, what your loan is for. So just because you apply for, say, $5,000 through the Kiva underwriting process, they may only approve you for maybe $3,000 or $3,500 if it's your first experience with Kiva. And as far as the gift cards, say Score or say Greg knows that they have business owners that they've worked with, or they might even have businesses that they themselves support, that they say, I'm actually going to buy a Kiva gift card for a customer that goes to Sharon's shop, or one of Sharon's customers might buy a gift card that then can be used towards a Kiva loan, if that makes sense. So you yourself may, as a business or as a customer, may say, well, I already patron the business and I shop there pretty frequently, but around Christmas time, I bought 3 Kiva gift cards to give out to my network. And I said, hey, even if you don't support the business I support, go on the Kiva website, find a business that resonates with you. Hopefully it's local around here, and loan to the business using your gift card. So they've seen that doing that actually then creates, and that person who bought the gift card then becomes an actual lender on Kiva. You can, it's a revolving loan. So if you lend $25 to Sharon's dog training business, once Sharon pays back her $25 within that year, you don't have to withdraw that money. You can just revolve that and loan it, the same $25 essentially, to another business. I know Landa, who also works with me, he loans on Kiva, and I think he might have used the same $25 or $50 at least maybe 3 times now, just lending to different businesses that kind of fit some of the criteria and hit some of his hot spots.
Great, thank you, Sheree. We have a lot of questions coming in, so I'm going to try to go through these in order. Can business owners, we were just talking about this, John, in this new virtual reality that we're all living in. Someone asked, how can they access virtual meetings for PNC Score and Sheree for Kiva versus?
I mean, for Score, I can tell you that in-person meetings are still discouraged, but we do Zoom. We do phone, we can do email. I personally prefer this. I like to see your face. I like to see who I'm talking to, and then you can see me. Body language is a lost art. It's a lost art coming with Zoom anymore, or with phone calls or emails. So I prefer Zoom. We have Zoom licenses. That's part of the cost, of course, doing our business. But we do all of our mentoring right now, usually via Zoom. If you have that in-person need, we can accommodate, but as you can understand, some of the mentors are probably still not there yet, as some of us are not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what Greg and Sheree.
With us with Kiva, I do a lot of phone calls, emails. I prefer, like John said, face-to-face. If you know me outside of Zoom, I love to be around people. I draw energy from people. But we are also meeting virtually as well. But depending, because Kiva more is one-on-one, and if we are able to meet in an environment, we're not meeting at City Hall, but I am open to meeting at one of our local small business coffee shops, or somewhere central that I know and that you trust, and that are obviously following COVID safety protocols, and we're being masked up and distanced and things like that.
So the good thing is the flexibility is there, that they can meet with any of you or your colleagues in whatever way they're comfortable with, as we've all had to be adaptable. Greg, anything to add?
Yeah, Elaine, our lobbies are open, so you're more than welcome to walk in. Please wear a mask. That's the only thing I ask, but we can do it via phone or via Microsoft Teams. That's the platform PNC has chosen to use. So we have the 3 options as well here at PNC.
Mm-hmm. Great. And Greg, if I can just stay with you,
Yeah.
I think all of you could answer this question. And this is a question I get asked often. So I'm curious to hear how you'll respond. Being that all three panelists know a good bit about the area's economic climate, are there any untapped business areas in the New York market? In other words, is there a type of business that has room to grow in New York? Or do you see oversaturation in certain areas? Interested in your perspective on that. That's a great question.
That is a good question.
Yeah, Sheree, I'd be happy to let you start, actually.
Well, clearly, according to Sharon, there was an untapped market for pets helping pets that help people. So if you like animals and you know how great of a support they can be, that would be a great business to look into. I think there are a lot of untapped markets in New York. Oh my goodness. And I think one of the best ways to figure out not only what's right for you, but also what's right for your the community and climate you live in, is to just pay attention to the needs of people, pay attention to kind of what needs aren't being met. I just saw a really good quote last night. It says, sell your solution, not the problem, I think it said, or sell, I think it was like sell how you solve that problem, not just what the problem is. Don't focus on just what the problem is, but focus on what the solution is. And I always encourage everyone, if you're looking to start a business and you're trying to figure out what business should I start that I like, I say, well, I'm a passion-driven person. So whatever you would do every day, get up and do for free every day, that's probably something you're passionate about. If you're passionate about helping people, what area or need do you see could be benefited or uplifted the most? I think sometimes we start at what can't I do? What problems do I have? What access or resources do I have? And that's not always the case. It's sometimes about the consumer. And one of the untapped markets that I've seen really kind of blossom, especially over the past year through COVID, is skin and body care for melanated women, by melanated women. And I have seen so many, even just of my friends, and even people online that have started body skincare lines. And I know people who like understand the science behind skincare, the science behind products that work with certain skincare types, and have really taken time to dive into that market, create a product, kind of carve out their niche, and then expand on that. So I have a friend, she started out doing sage bundles and just kind of giving people good energy, good juju. Then she transitioned into soaps and oils and skincare. And because people liked her sage so much, and they said, well, do you have this? Because I think this kind of would go good with the sage. So she expanded into that. And now she's expanding into apparel that kind of supports the messages and the experience that she wants people to have with her other products. And I think going outside the box, we say outside the box a lot, but going outside of what you just think people need and figuring out really just, you can literally walk around and say, oh, that's a problem. No one's solving that, or no one's solving that kind of how I would solve it. I think that's a really good opportunity for business owners or business-minded people to figure out how they can start tapping into some of these markets, tapping into some of these product spaces and things like that.
And I would just also add, John, the Susquehanna SCORE roundtables, where you can meet with other businesses and you have that brainstorming and information sharing, where, you know, businesses will talk about, you know, saturation, competition, you know, you can elaborate more, but I know that that's certainly what I've heard. Site selection, this neighborhood is on the cusp and would make sense for, you know, expansion, those kinds of conversations that happen there.
Yeah, and I think so. Where I can answer it from is what we've seen from a client intake perspective. You know, the sanitation kind of business. And I don't mean, you know, pen waste or anything, but we're talking about, you know, business sanitation and the different technologies now that are available. We're having several clients there. You know, it's interesting. I guess it was a little bit of a surprise for me. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but you know, we're spending more time in their homes and they're starting to see the cracks on the wall and that. So there's a lot of handy person businesses, if you would. that are getting in, trying to start to help lawn care services. Now, there's a lot of lawn care services. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but I'm telling you, there's so much work out there that people are going to. So I think that those are some of the ones that that I've seen from a client intake perspective. And a lot of people, just so you know, we've had like businesses pivot. Now we've all heard of the brewery that went to alcohol sanitation products, right? A lot of the not the physical therapists, but the exercise people, the fitness trainers and stuff, they've taken their business online. That's another thing that we're seeing. Think that way, think online, because those are the things that are happening. But the home businesses, think around the home. I think that's a biggie, because it's surprising too. My daughter-in-law's a realtor, and she's gone up from a standpoint of people now looking at buying houses, because they want to get out, because they're in this house forever. So just some input from my perspective.
That is a great perspective, and it's something that we've talked about when we look short-term versus long-term when we're post-COVID. I know we're all ready for that. There are certain things that aren't going to go away, right? So now for a whole year, we've been trained to have certain conveniences, options for takeout, delivery, online shopping, outdoor spaces, new and inventive ways of using the built environment. Those things aren't going to go away.
Right.
Realize how much we value them. And a year has been just enough time to be conditioned. And so I think, as you said, John, thinking about those kinds of things, those kinds of changes would be valuable in looking at, what opportunities exist now and will in the future. So we have just a couple more minutes and a couple more questions. So I just want to go through those and make sure we get everyone. I think just a reminder, the contact information is in the comments in the chat. So if you want to connect with anyone, please jot down their information. Stephanie says, I'm a new business owner and a recent recipient of the Yoko Bloom grant. I'm glad to hear that these tools are available and they're needed throughout the life of a small business. I'm feeling a little stuck at marketing and about to have my first event for Gray Matters Clarity Consulting. Any recommendations to get unstuck? Marketing is a tricky one. People do tend to get stuck there. Recommendations to get unstuck?
Well, Stephanie, thanks for joining us this morning, and congratulations on your recent grant and your new business. Thanks for opening a business in the city of York. But again, I think partnering with SCORE, and so I'm going to do a quick proudful plug. It's probably my mom. So as we all were talking, I was thinking about this very thing of how to get unstuck just in any aspect of your business. Try to get outside your head though, and don't overthink it, which is like one of the worst things to say to someone, because that's why they're stuck, because they're overthinking probably. But basically just figure out, who do I serve? How do I serve them? And through which ways do I serve them? And why do I want to do that? And then share that message. It doesn't have to be as jazzy as everybody thinks it does. It doesn't have to be as shiny and glittery. Just literally sharing the message of what you do, I think, is a really easy marketing tool. And then use the platforms that resonate the most with your audience. May not always be what you're the most comfortable with, but it might resonate with your audience. And then figure out the best ways to just put that message out there, and then you'll refine it over time.
Thanks, Sheree. Anyone else? I think, the way to get unstuck is to have the conversations. As Greg has said, as John has said, meeting with a mentor. Don't sit in your own space and in your own head, as Sheree said, and thinking you have to figure this out alone. Small business owners do that time and time again. To get unstuck, bring people into your process and your vision and let them, those experts, help guide you to the right resources and to get you moving forward. Anything that anyone else wants to add? We have just 1 minute left. Otherwise, I'll close this out. Okay, so with that, thank you, everyone. I hope you found this information valuable. I hope you'll connect with John and Greg and Sheree and their colleagues to help really continue to build your tribe and build your business. I'd also like to encourage you, if you are a business owner, to join the Downtown Inc. Facebook merchant group. It's a private group. We share a lot of resources there that you will find valuable, from the grant information we talked about, getting connected with a mentor. You'll be able to find that in the Facebook group. Also, Go Green in the City is back this year, April 17th. And I'd invite you to mark your calendars for the next business series workshop, which is Wednesday, April 21st. It's same place, same virtual place and time, 8:30. We're going to stay virtual for the immediate future. So we invite you to join us again when we'll be talking about succession planning, everything from selling to partnering in your business. So again, I would just like to say thank you to our guests, John Tile, Sharee McFadden, and Greg Verbosky. And thank you again to PNC for making the Business Series Workshop possible. Have a great day, everybody. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.